Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Rick's Picks. So, Haslab's just released their new Haslab project, the Tron set. Now, with this set, you get a couple of things. You get Tron, you get Flint, Yuri, obviously Zark, and a program plus a display case, and also 2 light cycles. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to take a good look and see, is this really worth the price that Haslab is, hitting us all up for? So, one thing I want to mention is that I do have a membership program. So, for $2 a month, you get a whole bunch of extra stuff such as blooper reels, behind the scenes, and more. So, without any further ado, roll that intro. All right, so now we're going to look into the Tron Haslab. Now, this is going for about $260. It's not funding very well. Last time I checked, I think it was only into the hundreds. I think they need like 10,000 backers for it to work, and I don't even think they're anywhere close to it, at least last time I checked. But we're going to go through this stuff, and we're going to see if it's really worth the $260. So first off, you got Tron. All right, he's a very good looking figure. I like the overall look to him in these pictures. I like the way how they do his identity disc and the whole 9 yards. Next is Flint. Of course, if you have Tron, you're going to have Flint too. And he looks pretty good. I like the overall look to this figure. I don't have any real issues with him. Now, this is the one that, if I was going to get this set, this would be the reason why I would get it. And it would be Yuri. Now, we haven't ever had a Yuri figure before. So it's kind of cool that they actually added her into this line. Because I know with a lot of toy companies, they don't do very many females because they don't sell very well. That's the same with the original Tron set. You had Tron, you had Flint, you had Zark, and then you had one of the, gladiator style warriors, the big bulky guys. I forget what their names was, but you never had Yuri, and now they have her as part of this set. So I really like that, and that would probably be the one thing that would make me actually truly want this set, is because of her. So next you have Sark. Obviously if you have a Tron set, you're going to need him, and then you got a generic program. So also you get the 2 light cycles that open up, come apart and open up. And they also have the light beam that comes out of the tail, the rear wheel. And last but not least, you have what looks to be a light up stand for them. All right. Now, at first, when I first saw this, I was like, hey, you know what? $250 might not be that bad of a price, until I realized that there were 3 3/4 figures. So, they're the smaller figures. Now, Hasbro does sell 3 3/4 figures. They sell the Star Wars, vintage line, which is the 3 3/4 figures, but they go for almost 20, not even $25 a figure. So even if you factor that math in, it still don't even come nowhere close to $200 for just the figures alone. The 2 light cycles, there's not a lot to the light cycles. Yeah, they come apart in the I believe it's like 3 or 4 pieces, plus the light trail, but the light cycles were always simple. There's not a lot with it, and I don't think that would constitute another $100. The same with the stand. The stand, is pretty basic. There's not a whole lot to it. So, looking all this over, I don't really feel like this is worth $200. Maybe $150. I would probably spend maybe $150. Maybe if they're the 6-inch figures, I'd probably be like, I don't know. But they're good looking figures. I like the overall look to the figures and all, but to me, it doesn't meet the value. It doesn't meet $600. I mean, $600. Wow, no. The $260. It just, to me personally, it doesn't move. And it's a shame, because they are good looking figures. And I'm been a huge Tron fan since the 80s. I had the original toys and everything, back in the day. And I would have really been excited for something like this if it wasn't so expensive. And now this thing also counteracts the whole other reason Haslab makes this stuff. Because the whole thing to the Haslabs was to be things that you can't get anywhere else. So it was like the specialty stuff. And so far with most of the Haslabs I've seen so far, or at least the ones I have bought, yes, that's the truth. Because you get like your G.I. Joe classified ones, like you got the Hiss here, and you also see that I also have the Rattler. Now they're specialty items, not because of what they are, but because they add a whole bunch of extra stuff. There's lights in them. There's all sorts of extra stuff that makes it more expensive. And as you can see with Haslab at the moment, they're bringing the Hiss out for retail. Obviously, it's the white one because it's counteracted the Snowcat, but it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that this one right here has. So it's the same with the Ghostbuster stuff. They had Egon's pack. You had all the light ups, all sorts of awesome, special details. And with the Ghostbuster Ecto 1, which I can't wait to get a hold of that, it also had a lot of lights, special additions, this and that, and they were kind of worth it. And yeah, those, because of all these special details, they were harder to sell on retail. But now this set is just basic. You just got, a couple of basic characters on card backs, the light cycles, and a display stand that, not to sound like a jerk, anybody can make. It's a simple display stand with a couple of crossing lights and stuff. Now, would have probably really been cool is if they would have had a feature on the figures to where the figures actually light up. All that neon on them actually lit up. Now that would have been cool, and that probably would have been worth $260. The same with the light cycles. Like if the light beams actually lit up, that would be an argument for it being a Haslab. The same with the identity discs. If there was a way that you can make that trail behind them light up, you can make all this stuff light up, that would have probably made me, bat an eye and think, this might be worth it. But as they stand now, for me as a collector, and unfortunately as a Tron fan, I feel like this set is way too expensive. I really do. I really feel like they're asking too much for this set. I personally, looking at it and judging it against other figures and what have you, I could probably go maybe 150, maybe 170, 80. You would really be pushing it with 200, but I would definitely mark it somewhere between 150 and 160 would probably be the price that I would buy it at personally. So with all that being said, I want to know what you guys think about. Do you guys agree with me? Do you think this is overpriced? Or do you think, yeah, this is worth it? I'm going to put money and back this project. I really want to hear from you because I want to know what you guys think about this project as well. So with that being said, I want to give a shout out to Action Figure Geeks. They're a Reddit page that's all about action figures, pops, movies, TV shows, and so forth. I've been a member with them for a while. It's a really good community, and now they support the channel. So go ahead and check out my description. I have all their links in that. Plus, also check out my membership program for $2 a month. You get blooper reels, you get, behind the scenes, and much more. Plus, also check out any one of my playlists and hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So, until the next one, late.